All right, and good evening, everybody, and welcome to Train World TV. And we appreciate everyone joining us for tonight. And we have a very special episode for you tonight. We have the Epic Train Room, and I want to thank very much Matt and Mark for joining us tonight. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good, Ken. Thanks for having us.
All right, and thank you for joining us. And our marketing guru, Nick, actually made a post the other day on Facebook and Instagram about being on our show for a epic train room. So Mark and Matt were nice enough to be in contact with Nick and kind of just show their train room, show where they model and set up everything, and I think it will be a nice time. So we're looking forward to it. Now we'll start off with Matt for the time being, and we'll hold off for Mark because Mark, you don't want to miss Mark. He's got a professionally done layout, so stay tuned for him. But Matt, when did you get into trains?
Well, Ken, can you hear me okay? You can hear me
Yeah,
okay?
sure.
I've always had trains. To be honest, there was no real starting point for me.
Right.
My very first set was a Lionel set. As I remember it, it was probably in the mid-1990s. It was an Amtrak set. I forget exactly what it was, but it was an Amtrak diesel. There might have been two engines, a powered and a dummy, and then three or four passenger cars. And that was my first set. And then my father got me an MTH set, and it sort of went downhill from there, as we could say.
Okay, very nice. And now, what scales do you model?
Well, I've got trains actually in a little bit of everything. I have when I show you around the room, I'll show you the display case over here. I've got some N scale and some HO. I was into that for a period. And then it's actually not here. It's in the other house. I have a LGB set, and but for the most part, I've always been into O gauge here. So that's what I focus on nowadays. Lionel. I've got both modern Lionel, the Legacy, and the Lion Chief stuff. I got into post-war a few years ago, so I've got a lot of near mint condition boxed post-war sets and locomotives and cars, and then of course modern MTH too. So a little bit of everything across the board.
Okay, awesome. Sounds good. So I guess with the long wait, let's see your room, and let me just switch it over so everybody could.
Well, let me see. I'll flip it around. Flip the camera around so you're not looking at me. I'm standing right at the door in the hallway, and what is it's not very substantial, but what's kind of unique about this is actually in my extra bedroom. But what I didn't tell you is we're actually 19 stories up in the sky in a luxury condominium. Now, it's dark outside, so you can't really see, but this is all, I call it the nosebleed section up here. And we're up here in the sky. We're about 4 miles or so from the Washington, D.C. border in Maryland. And then I'll just give you kind of a quick scan of the layout here. It's a pretty small layout, just 4x8. It's really all I could fit in here. Of course, I would love to go bigger, but I'm going to need to get another condo. And then there's just a couple of things in the hallway here. That's pretty much, that's kind of it. There's a display case here. I don't know how well you'll be able to see with some of the HO and N scale stuff that I've accumulated over the years. And then I keep in this closet here where I sort of hide some more O gauge rolling stock.
Now, is your layout functional?
It's very functional.
Well, let's see it. Can you start it up, or?
Sure, let me flip the camera back around. I've got some MTH subway set. I think I might have bought it from you, and then on the inner loop in there, I've got my original Lionel 773 post-war engine from 1950.
Oh, wow. Very nice.
Well, hopefully it all works. I tried it all out this afternoon, and everything works, so we'll see.
Very nice.
I really like the MTH buildings and trains with the Christmas lights on them as well.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
If you can't tell, I really like the MTH stuff that they did, the gold and sort of stainless steel plating. So that's what that whole train is.
Very cool. I see you got the Morton Salt Miller Engineering sign.
Yeah, actually, the Morton Salt, that's actually one of those Menards buildings.
Interesting. Okay.
That I bought. I didn't really, it was admittedly one of those buy it first, figure out what to do with it later kind of things, because I just thought it was too cool and I had to have it.
Right.
I've got the, this is one of yours, Ken, the World's Fair trolley that MTH did.
Yeah. So now this is, if you got a high rise and a condo, this is how you really cram it in.
Yeah, my neighbors love me, if you can imagine.
Oh, wow.
But it works, you kind of had to be creative and
right.
do what it takes.
Very cool. I like how you did all the shelving and you really maximize your space to display your trains.
There's some of the more, these are all a lot of the post-war sets that I have. Actually, that top one's sort of a funny story. I don't know if you can hear me. I'll shut the trains off real quick, but I don't know if you can hear me. That top one's kind of a funny story. My sister's friend was actually my real estate agent when I bought this place. And she sent me an email one day, said, hey, we found this box of old Lionel trains in this house. Do you want them? What I was supposed to say? Of course. Yeah, sure.
Right.
I had got the box and it was, all rusty and kind of falling apart and everything. And got it all working again. And it was really, really actually a fun project. And apparently it's a more hard to find set. It's the turbine work train, I think, from 1946. I forget offhand what the number is, the Lionel set number, but it's got the coal dump car that's all aluminum. Usually they came in black or green. So it was kind of a fun little project a year or two ago to kind of restore that and bring it back to life.
Now, Donald had a good question. Are you able to dismantle that layout, or is it, it's set up and it's not moving?
Well, I can if I really have to. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Kind of vowed after I did it once, I'm never moving again. But actually, this table came from my other house, and everything you see in here, all these shelves are on the wall in there, down in the basement. I had a big walkout basement down there. Everything you see was in there and came from there. Took a little bit of effort because it's a little tighter confines in here, but no, everything can be disassembled again if I have to. Hopefully not anytime soon.
Yeah. Very cool. Interesting. And you put up the shelving?
I put them all up. I painted them and put them all up. Yeah, actually, I put actually those two up last night. I was adding a few more. I'm glad you chose me to do this, Ken, because you got me motivated to fix a lot of problems that I was noticing and
all right, good
little details that were kind of messed up that I've been neglecting.
It's funny. I think I saw some stamps there for the 150th the Golden Spike anniversary. I actually have the same ones.
Yeah, I actually framed those. I just thought they were real. I think I bought one or two sets to use, and then I bought a set to kind of frame it just because I thought it was really cool.
Yep, Transcontinental Railway.
Those are just some other little posters and photographs I have, and whatnot. This is actually kind of an interesting story. These are numbers plates and builders plates and insignia from the Polish state railways.
Huh.
And I
Wow.
actually brought these back from Poland. Last summer, I participated. It's probably one of my more unique train experiences.
Right.
Over in Poland, there's a tiny little town called Wolsztyn, and it's the last place in the world that still uses steam locomotives in real commuter service. And it's
Interesting.
essentially their version of the Long Island Railroad with steam engines pulling it.
Right.
And
Right. Right.
they do a program where you can come over and learn to run them or drive them. And so I spent a week over there learning to run high-speed steam commuter trains, and did all the worked with them all week, and brought these back as sort of souvenirs. And the two number plates, those are replicas, but the Polish PKP plate on the top, they actually took that off a locomotive for me over there.
Gotcha.
And the customs at the airport was kind of curious as to why I was bringing Polish government railways property with me, but I managed to sweet talk them through that.
There you go. Some Long Island stuff. Very cool. Very neat. I like the shelving, the racks, and you really utilized every square inch you got there.
Yeah, I try. I need more room. I need a bigger condo now.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. All right, Matt. Well, I thank you very much for sharing. This was a really nice treat, and we
Yep, thank
appreciate
you,
having
Ken.
you on.
I'm gonna probably jump off and use my computer so I'm not draining the phone all out.
All right. Sounds good, Matt. Thank you very much. Thanks for sharing, and we appreciate it, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Ken. Take care.
Bye. All right. And now for the grand finale, Mark. Your layout's really unbelievable. You got it really professionally done. I mean, excellent. So tell us a little bit about how you got started into trains and how you kind of started on this layout.
Well, my memories of trains go back to my dad and take me back to my childhood. Back to the days when we had 3 channels on the TV. We watched the Flintstones after school and Brady Bunch and Partridge Family on Friday nights.
Right.
But every Christmas, about 2 weeks before Christmas and for about 2 weeks after Christmas, Dad would take a 4x8 layout out of the storage room, and we'd set it up and run trains. And some of the memories from childhood, they just get seared in your memory.
Yeah.
I had a Santa Fe war bonnet engine, I think an American Flyer steamer and a Lionel steamer, and unfortunately, probably like a lot of kids back in the day, I ran those trains so hard, and the inquisitive mind wants to know how fast they can go.
Yeah.
I did a fairly effective job of wrecking them.
How hard they crash.
Exactly. But my folks did save the rolling stock for me. And when my daughter was born back in '96, I decided I wanted to build a layout for her. And my son came along in '99, and we built 2 or 3 layouts after that.
Right.
We made a big move from the Midwest part of the country out to Asheville, North Carolina, and we built a new home out here. Simultaneously, in my design plan on the house, I built a bonus room above 2 bays of the garage that was suited to be my train room, and basically net out as my ultimate dream for a train room. So we ran, in essence, 2 simultaneous construction projects. One was building the home. Secondly, I had contracted with Clark Dunham of Dunham Studios up in Pottersville, New York, to build the layout for me, and we designed it together. The layout has a Western North Carolina fall theme. I wanted that because I like the colors of the trees. It was designed to operate both conventional and DCS, kind of modeled in the 50s to early 60s type of time frame.
Right.
We decided to incorporate some family elements into the layout. I also wanted some operating signals and what have you. And then old Clark, he was at some point in his career, he was a Broadway designer doing lighting on stage shows in New York City.
Right.
So I had Clark do a lighting system for the layout as well.
Wow. Very cool. Very cool. Well, let's see this, because
All right,
I think a lot of people are going to be really excited about this, Mark.
Let me just do a few things here real quick, and let me get this camera switched around.
Now, what scale you model?
It's O scale. I'm sorry. I'm completely O scale. So I want front camera or back camera?
Back camera.
Back camera done. Oh, there we go.
All right.
All right. And let me just show you a few things. One of the things that I like about the hobby is dates on cars. For example, something as simple as a Tootsie Roll car built in 2002. Why is that one special to me? Because I remember the exact date and time that my two children came home from the train store and pulled me aside and secretly told me, "Daddy, we got you a Tootsie Roll train for Christmas."
Very cool.
This one, is a special one that I like to display that Lionel did, which was built in 2001 to commemorate the 9/11 event.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Which is kind of a cool car.
Yeah.
But the layout itself, one of the things that intrigued me about Clark was attention to detail on both scenery and backdrops. So to give you a feel for the room, this is what she looks like.
Beautiful. Really nice.
And you look at that backdrop at the end of the room there, it's absolutely gorgeous. And I don't know if you can make it out on the video, but the lighting really kind of highlights the sun effect on the mountains or hills.
Yeah, it really does look like a Broadway theater show.
It does. And that's Clark.
Right.
This one, I think the light might be hitting it a little bit harshly. I can't tell for sure. But when you go into the tunnels here, you can see the operating signals on those. I'll see if I can come in a little closer. But, I talked about family. I'll start with Western North Carolina first. These are kind of some of the fun parts of the layout. We have bears here in Western North Carolina. We had 9 black bears in our backyard last night.
Wow.
So we have a few bears here visiting the guy that's in the outhouse.
Very cool.
There's a few more on the hill over here.
Now, did you pick out the sceneries, or did Dunham Studio kind of create everything?
I would say we kind of did it together in that I laid out the vision of a Western North Carolina theme. But when it comes to the actual detail in the mountains, the trees, the scenery, or what have you, that's all those folks. He has a talented team.
Right.
And I do believe Clark's retired now. I'm not even sure the business is still going concern, which is unfortunate for the hobby. Right. But when I talked about the family part of the layout, my daughter's Rayanne, and that's her diner there. When we come back over here, my son, his name's Rad. He has the barber shop. Come down a little further. Heather has a general store back there. That's my wife. And then my nickname that I picked up over the years is Brondo, and there's Brondo's garage over there. And the one detail I did miss is they put that Ford deal on there. I would have rather had a Chevy, but that was
very cool. Looks neat though.
And initially I was an all Lionel guy, but over time with the DCS systems, I kind of moved to that MTH Premier line. I really like that for my engines. I like the DCS control on that. I typically operate from my iPad. And, you know, in this hobby anymore, I don't really care about collectability. I buy what I like. And,
There you go.
You know, there's an example of a Batman car that Lionel put out in 2020 that reminds me of the old Batman shows when I was a kid.
Right.
Um, what else can I show you? In terms of power, we have two MTH Z4000s for power, track power. On the old iPad here, let's see.
Oh, don't.
Yeah, sorry. My bad. But if we go, I'll start a few of them up here.
Now, do you like using the iPad as opposed to the DCS, like the remote control, or?
It's one of my pet peeves about the hobby is I've
Right.
always hated those remote controls because I never found them to be user friendly.
Yeah, I agree.
So I do prefer this.
Yeah.
Let me see here.
Yeah, I think the iPad is super easy, and you know, they're coming out with more features to make it more user friendly, but it's a
Keep
little
me
more.
apprised of those, would you?
I'm sorry.
Said, let me know about those when they come out.
Yeah.
All right. So if we get this guy going, bear with me just a minute here.
No problem.
Okay, one more. All right.
And we're getting
We have
comments for
trades.
you. Don't forget to feed the bears. Very nice. Are those the MTH flats, Armies?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, Ken.
Is that the MTH Army flats?
Yes.
Very cool.
Here comes the Santa Fe. You know, a Santa Fe would have never been in Western North Carolina, but I don't care. I buy what I like. Here comes the Southern F3.
Very cool.
So we're running 5 trains at the moment. You know, I like this MTH Shay a lot, the Climax.
Cool. Very nice.
Now, we've yet to set off the smoke alarms in the house, which is good.
Very neat. It's a beautiful bridge.
You can watch the lights tunnel there.
How long did it take to build your layout, Mark?
So you want me to shut them down, Ken?
Well, a couple of questions. Can you zoom in on the cutout in the front?
Zoom out on what?
Zoom in on the cutout in the front. They want to see the bridge.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice. And how long did they take them to build this? Beautiful.
See, we're getting a little smoky. Here's that Shay.
Nice.
What other questions do you have for me?
A gentleman asked you how long it took you to build the layout.
Hold on a second. I did something here where I lost the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Okay.
There you go.
I'm going to shut these down so I can hear you.
Yeah, no problem.
So the question was, how long did it take to build it?
Yeah.
My best recollection is about a year.
Really?
And,
wow.
And I would say that included around 7 people.
Wow.
Working full time. Pretty much full time.
Now,
one of the things I wanted to point out real quick while it's on my mind that I like about the layout is the buildings up on the hill there are smaller in scale, you know, to give you that sense of depth perception.
Right.
Yeah. So
now I forgot what I was going to say. I had a good question though. So you said 7 people it took you to build, but were they like in your basement building it, or did they piece it together? How does something this monsterful kind of come together?
Yeah, it's a fair question. I'll tell you how. My back, yeah. It was built in their shop in Pottersville, New York, in modules.
Oh, wow.
Let me go out here real quick, and I'll go back to this back camera. So the stairway going down, that rail, we had to kind of put a fake rail up to get an occupancy permit for the house. We took that down.
Wow.
Basically, this layout came on one semi truck with a trailer, pretty much packed at capacity.
Wow.
It literally took us a full day to unload. but as it came off the truck in modules, the workers or crew, began install immediately.
Wow.
And one of the things that we did in the design phase is I basically sent my inventory or my collection to Clark, and we arranged the shelving pieces I had. They've been painted to match the decor here, but we basically made sure that we had enough shelf space to display what I had in my collection. Now that didn't necessarily work out all that well. but that's the nature of the beast. You never have enough real estate for one of these things.
Now, Mark, not to get too personal, but I'm not sure if you're married, but if you are, how was the response from the spouse?
It's all about negotiation in life, Ken. and when we built this place, I was able to negotiate 2 man caves, which I felt pretty good about. The other one's down the basement where we watch movies.
Oh, cool.
But I was going to show you. This is what's left of the engines I had when I was a kid. He's in pretty rough. He's in pretty rough shape. And this is the actual 60 trolley that I had when I was a youngster. And you can see I had to fix it. I did some damage to it, but
I think you were missing a wheel on that Scout.
Oh, I am. The front truck's all messed up on it. Yeah, for sure. I just keep it more for sentimental reasons than anything else. It reminds me of my dad. But what's funny about the hobby is I have such strong memories as a child of the 60 trolley. I dearly loved it as a kid. So I acquired a few more over the years. And this engine down here, Dad bought that for me in like the 1970s when I didn't have any engines that would work anymore. And I mucked that one up. That's got a replacement truck on the back of it. So
yep.
There you go.
Very cool. Now we did have a good question. You mentioned the buildings on top were smaller in scale. Do you know if it goes to like O to HO or O to N up on top?
I don't.
Okay, no problem.
I don't. For sure.
People want to mimic your layout now.
Well, I'll tell you what. I looked around for a builder, and as I said at the get-go, the thing that intrigued me about Dunham was the scenery work. In my opinion, is absolutely incredible. And you mirror that with the backdrops and the lighting system, which I probably ought to show you. We can take this lighting system down to, and that's just turning off the can lights. That's no big deal right there. But we can go to a nighttime scene. And it takes,
very cool.
It hasn't happened yet. But watch here. Bear with me. Maybe. Let me see if I pushed the right button. Which I didn't. Here we go. Wait a minute. Let me look at that one more time. Here we go. There we go. So there come the building lights on. These are LED cans. You can see the room darkening.
Wow.
You can see the building lights are on. And she goes dark.
Very cool.
And with the train still on, it's kind of fun to run them.
Oh, wow.
And then you could do, so that's daytime. And then there's 2 cycles I can run. One's a short cycle that will go through a day-night cycle, kind of sunrise, sunset type of thing. And then there's a long day-night cycle as well.
Very neat.
So what's kind of neat about, and I'm in, let me make sure I push the right button again. Yeah, I can see it's getting darker. You can see kind of it, the cans are starting to dim down.
Mm.
And as it does, and the sun sets, the building lights come on, and then it goes.
Oh, that's pretty.
Isn't that neat? Now it's starting to brighten again as the sun comes up in the morning. That's the short cycle on the day-night deal.
Very nice.
I almost forgot to show you the lighting system.
Well, not many people have this. So I'm glad you were able to show it.
Like I said, it was kind of the culmination of the dream I always had to have a layout of this caliber.
Beautiful. Really nice stuff. I know a lot of people out there are definitely drooling over your layout, and we appreciate it. And
I was going to run for you tonight, this Lionel Shea over here. I like that train, but it started acting up on me tonight.
Yeah.
I got a little troubleshooting to do on that.
Yep.
And that, as I've built layouts over the years, part of the fun for me, and it doesn't always seem as fun, but things break, things don't always work right, and part of the challenge in the hobby is to figure out why.
Right. Yeah, beautiful stuff, Mark. And I thank you very much for taking the time out to show your layout, and we really appreciate it here. And I think what you did and kind of put together is definitely something to be proud of.
Well, thank you. There's the control panel there where I can control switches and the different track sections where I can go from DCS to conventional.
Beautiful.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you everybody so much for watching. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Matt. We really appreciate having you on. I hope you got a little bit of inspiration tonight for some great epic train room action and just some really nice rooms for your model trains. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Shop online at trainworld.com. Thanks for joining.